Hey guys, Mad Scientist here today. Last video I explained how Ruby Rose is very close to real life, and today I aim to explain Weiss's glyphs. Link in the description below to my video on Ruby Rose. Today there are 6 different glyphs that are seen in Ruby, including white, orange, blue, black, red, and gold or yellow. I don't know exactly the colour. Respectively, the powers of these glyphs are ice, fire, platform stasis, stasis or anti-gravity, explosive or propulsion, and time dilation. For those who haven't seen Ruby, spoilers about Weiss are ahead. Weiss Schnee is the burden heiress to the Schnee Dust Company who wants to be perfect at everything to rectify her family's honour. Not everything can go her way, as proven by when Ruby becomes team leader of Team Ruby instead of her. She sees Ruby as an unfit leader until Volume 3, and then Team Ruby gets separated after the fall of Beacon at the end of Volume 3. In Volume 4, Weiss is back at her household with her dad, trying to control her attitude and behaviour. Weiss is stripped of her title to the Schnee Dust Company, which is now going to her brother, Whitley Schnee, after the ballroom incident. This is when she fully summons a creature, a Borba-tusk, for the first time. She then proceeds to summon the suit of armour from the white trailer successfully, using her multi-action dust rapier, Mertenaster, and a painting of the armour. At the end of Volume 4, Weiss leaves Atlas onward bound to Haven Academy on a carrier ship. The carrier ship is taken down by Queen Lancer, and Weiss is captured by Raven. Yang shows up at Raven's camp, seeking answers about why Raven left her and finds Weiss there. At this point in time, Weiss has taken a spear through what might have been the liver, and Julian is somehow healing her. That's another question for another day. Back to the theory at hand. Let's begin with Weiss's light platforms in general. Light platforms are definitely not a thing of our times, but RRL Science wrote an article in September 2004 explaining how researchers from Physical Review X managed to lock together individual photons to become a solid object. Even scientists from Harvard and MIT managed to coax photons into binding together to form molecules as well. These photonic molecules can slow down single photons of light. So in the sense of creating light platforms, we are close to making them, not that sure on holding weights or humans. Light platforms can create ice domes and walls. The closest thing to create an ice wall was made back in 2014 by Grant Imahara on the White Rabbit project. Grant Imahara made an ice gun which is most inspired by Mr. Freeze's ice gun, and I have to say, that is some impressive work. I actually love watching stuff by Grant Imahara and like Mythbusters, so I've seen sort of stuff they make on Mythbusters, and it's pretty good. On the other hand of the spectrum, orange glyphs can shoot fire from them, basically making them into flamethrowers. Surprisingly easy to explain there. Black platforms can suspend objects in midair, like stasis or anti-gravity. Obviously, stasis and anti-gravity are not possible in this time and age of life, but the closest real-life anti-gravity-esque possibility is diamagnetism. Diamagnetic materials are metals propelled by a magnetic field, but using a superconductor to act as a strong diamagnet by repelling a magnetic field from its interior. Another more realistic possibility is maglev train magnetic levitation power. I don't know how to describe that very well, which is basically two magnets repelling each other, and the weight of the object holds it in place. Having two magnets ready to go is difficult. However, having a superconductor array is the epitome of difficulty. Surprisingly, the magnetic levitation power, again, I don't know what it's really called, is more likely to be possible. Despite the unlikely size of said magnet, both red and gold glyphs are clearly shown once. The red glyph appears in Volume 1, Chapter 8, Players and Pieces, in helping RWBY launch through the air with explosive force. The gold glyph appears in Volume 2, Chapter 4, Painting the Town, in allowing Glyphs to destroy the incoming rockets at high speed. Since red glyphs are literally explosive or propulsive launches, the highest piece of technology that is possible in theory without killing people is jetpacks. For real life technology though, launching pads are very easily the answer. Now, time dilation, and I'm now glad I took physics. To talk about time dilation, you get into messy territory with other factors including length dilation and mass dilation. But all I need to prove is that time dilation exists in the real world. Meet the muon. 200 times heavier than an electron, they travel at 99.96% of the speed of light. They are created at an altitude of about 10,000 kilometers and can reach ground level and can only exist for 2.2 microseconds. Using the speed triangle to find distance, or d equals v times t, it equates to approximately 660 meters using the values that I know. This number is nowhere close to the 10,000 meters measured by an observer. For the observer, 2.2 milliseconds is not the correct time, unlike it is for the muon. To find the correct time measured by the observer, we need to use the time dilation equation, which is delta t equals delta t0 over the square root of 1 minus v squared over c squared in brackets. Very complicated. The mathematics shown on screen shows that the observer's measured time before decaying is approximately 7.78 times 10 to the negative 5 seconds. This time, in the speed triangle, the muon can travel approximately 23,000 meters before decaying, more than double the altitude they are created at. And so, to wrap up this Weiss theory, light platforms are plausible. Fire and ice glyphs are confirmed with flamethrowers and a real-life Mr. Freeze ice gun replica. Black glyphs are very unlikely, with large magnets and magnetism. Explosive glyphs are possible in theory with jetpacks and more likely with launch pads, quite easy to build. And the gold glyphs is explained by the verification of muon time dilation. Next time, I'm taking a break from RWBY to talk about a darker movie with unlikely results. Final Destination. If you enjoyed this video, summon a Bulbasaur to charge the subscribe button, hit the notification button for more videos, and leave a comment on a theory you have. Let's see what happens to Weiss in the final chapter of Volume 5. Mad Scientist